Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. I want to welcome you back to the channel. Well, here we go again, guys. There's a new pistol that's hitting the market and it's starting to make a lot of waves. And apparently it's being marketed to be aimed squarely at the Glock 19. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at this particular pistol. It's the FN 509. Now I'm just going to tell you right now, this is not a range test. I don't have my hands on one of these just yet. I have owned FN pistols in the past. And just kind of looking at the design overall, we're just going to go right into it. I do want to compare this specification-wise with the Glock 19 to see if it really is squarely compared with the Glock 19, or is it something we could compare it to a different pistol. Just looking at it overall, you've got definitely some aggressive serrations on here that should make press checks and standard operation a lot easier than maybe what you're used to in other pistols. You've got some thicker, taller sights. One-handed charges should not be a problem whatsoever. Obviously, you've got your tactical rail. You've got that signature FN trigger. They've changed this magazine release from what we saw previously, say on the 9C. It's a little bit different design. Definitely a lot going on here, but supposedly it's supposed to be more functional, more comfortable to shoot than prior FN designs. Instead of having that aggressive stippling going on, you've got something a little more compact with different stippling on the front and the rear, or texturing on the front and the rear. And then also you've got your adjustable rear grip where you can slide it in and out or flip it around, and you can make the grip wider or narrower, however you want it to be more comfortable when you're shooting it. So the big question is how does this compare to the Glock 19? Well, obviously you wouldn't know unless you get your hands on both of them and you fire them, but just looking at the specifications, which is what I'm able to bring you guys, my viewers, right now, we can go ahead and get started doing that. Obviously, Glock 19 and the FN 509 are both 9mm semi-automatic double-action pistols. Magazine capacity, that is one edge that the 509 has right out of the box. You've got a 17-round magazine that you can use in free states, obviously 10-round magazines in more restricted states, whereas your Glock 19 has 15 rounds right out of the box. Barrel length on the FN is 4 inches. Your barrel length on your Glock 19 is 4.01 inches. Your overall length of the FN 509 is 7.4 inches, and on the Glock 19 it's 7.28 inches. So just a little bit longer, just a hair longer. Width on the Glock is narrower with 1.18 inches, whereas the FN is going to be 1.35 inches. That was one thing I never really enjoyed about my FNS 9C, was the width of it. It just seemed a little chunky, a little bit harder for me to conceal than even, say, my Glock 17 or other pistols I had in my collection. Overall height of the Glock 19 is 4.99 inches, and on your FN we're looking at 5.56 inches. Weight is also comparable. I mean, I don't know at what point you guys would say that the gun could no longer be compared to another model and it should be compared to something else. I mean, we're going to think like maybe a 1/4 inch, or a little bit less on all these different specs before you think maybe you should compare the gun to something else. But again, like I've said before, so many other gun channels out there and so many people are saying, oh, this is a Glock 19 killer. It's comparable to the Glock 19. So that's what we're doing. We're just taking a look at that to see what we think about it. Weight, 23.65 ounces unloaded on the Glock 19 versus 26.9 on the FN. When it comes to trigger pull, again, very close. Glock 19 is approximately 5.5 pounds. And this was all information taken from Glock's website, guys. This isn't something I'm trying to use it from its source so I can cite it as correctly as possible. Now, when it comes to that FN 509, it can vary between 5.5 and 7.5 pounds of trigger pull. Again, both pistols very smooth, very easy to manipulate triggers. It should not be a problem for just about any shooter. Let's see what else we need to know. We've got your right hand hexagonal barrel on the Glock with a 1 and 9.84 or 1.9 and 8.9 inch rate of twist, whereas your FN's got a cold hammer forged barrel that's got a 1 and 10 inch twist. And let's see what else we need to know. Sight radius, we're looking at 6.02 inches on the Glock, and then also on the FN we're looking at 5.79 inches. So in many ways, it is comparable to that Glock 19, but then on the other end, it is a little bit different. I don't know if you're expecting it to be just like that Glock 19 in your hands and so on. Again, you're definitely going to be seeing this in quite a few videos coming out, and there's already some live fire videos out there too that you can check out. Looks like we also have an ambidextrous slide stop, which is a nice advantage for the FN. We'll give it credit on that end. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it. Would I add one to the collection? I might consider it. I mean, it does look like a very cool gun. MSRP is $649, whereas your Glock MSRP, I believe it's around $599. So you're going to find these about the same price, more or less. And that's definitely one thing. If FN wants to have a Glock 19 competitor or killer for that matter, they need to make sure that it's going to be around the same price point. But it is an interesting gun. I don't know, I'm kind of having this weird phase right now when it comes to polymer striker fired pistols where there's just so much variety out there. You've got the new Remington RP series that's out there. You've got your Ruger American pistol that just came out within the last year or two. Just the Walther Creed. There's so many options and so many choices. So my recommendation to you would be to go out there and get your hands on a Glock 19 and get your hands on a FN 509. Okay, take it to the range and see which one you prefer. You know, that trigger is going to be a lot different on the FN from the Glock. Glock's triggers are very, very signature. You've got a definitely a much more audible reset, and I don't know, on the FN, it just seemed like on my 9C, it was just a little bit harder to predict when it was going to break. I don't know, it's just my opinion, but not knock on the FN. I would definitely try a 509 if I had a chance, so there you go. Don't want to get too repetitive, but you've got some really good features that'll be on the 509. You've got your 3-dot luminescent sights, and apparently 3-dot fixed night sights are only LE options, law enforcement options, but I'm sure with the aftermarket it shouldn't be a problem finding that. Hopefully magazines will be readily available. Again, not to complain about the 9C, like I keep going back to it, but I did have issues sourcing magazines for it. They just weren't readily available. I just couldn't go to my local Cabela's and buy them. They had to be ordered from FN, and they were out of production when I first went to order some. They didn't have any in stock because they were all being used on the production pistols. See if there's anything else that we have. Reloaded chamber indicator, yeah, just kind of got your basics. Recessed target crown, polished chamber and feed ramp. So, you know, it looks like they put a lot into the development of it, that they definitely wanted to come up with a design that was a little bit different, maybe an evolution of what they already offer. And again, it does look a little bit sleeker than maybe some of the prior FN designs. Checking this out. And they're just showing you that extra backstrap that you get with it, and your extra magazine and your soft case. Not sure if the soft case comes with it, so we'll have to check and see. But again, a lot of gun channels are definitely going to be featuring this pistol. So if you're an FN fan, it might be something that you wanna check out. Looks like takedown is going to be not much different from a lot of the FN pistols that are already out there. You know, definitely give it a try. Definitely give it a look. It's one of those guns that I think it's worth definitely checking out. So, all right, so there you have it, guys. I want to thank you for joining me today. We just did a simple head-to-head specifications comparison of the FN 509 to the Glock 19. So, if you're in the market for the Glock 19 and say a gun like this gets pushed your way by the gun dealer or a friend and so on, and you don't know exactly if you want to consider it, maybe this little bit of advice here that we gave you can help you out with that decision. You know, are you going to be getting something that's potentially larger or heavier, or you know, harder to pull the trigger on, say, or not as smooth in the trigger to pull, say, as a Glock 19? So yeah, just a lot of different options out there for the consumer, which is it's not a bad problem to have, but at the same time, it kind of gets to a point where you're like, man, where do I even start? So there you go. I think it would be a solid choice for checking out, but again, don't rule out that Glock 19 because that's also an excellent pistol. So there you go, guys. I want to thank you for joining me today. Please like or subscribe if you like what you see. Check out my other videos. You can follow me over on Instagram and Twitter, as well as over on Ordinary Average Guy Gun Channel on gunchannels.com and Facebook. So there you go, guys. All right, I want you guys to have a great week. All right, I want you to have fun and be safe. And as always, as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys. See ya. Bye.